We have a few new Seiko watches coming out this June to July 2025, and let's dive right into this first one right here. This is a behemoth of a watch. Introducing the new SLA 081, the new Seiko Marinemaster Professional Titanium Dive Watch. This is Seiko putting the best materials in the new generation 8L45 movement into one mammoth of a watch. Right off the bat, the case dimension is at 45.4mm, a thickness of 16mm, even larger and thicker than the SNR 029 or the Seiko LX. That is just insane. The LX, which is titanium all around, it had a screw-down case back. Meanwhile, this SLA 081 is a full one-piece titanium case, which goes back to the 1968 Heritage Edition and the more recent SLA 021 and its monoblock variations. This watch has a whopping 600 meters of water resistance, which is definitely targeted to professional divers, hence the dial indicates it openly. Speaking of the dial, you'll notice it has a blue gradient pattern, and knowing Seiko, they don't just put a pattern on a watch without any reason. You guessed it, this is another limited edition watch. Only 600 pieces worldwide. Now I know that sounds bad, but by the looks of it, Seiko has teased the 8L45, which will be the successor of the ever-reliable 8L35 for decades more to come. The new movement uses the Seiko Sprun, Seiko's proprietary alloy, designed to be as durable as ever. It now has a thinner and longer mainspring that provides 72 hours of power reserve, a much needed upgrade from the 50-hour power reserve of the 8L35. It now has a much better accuracy at +10 to -5 seconds per day, which we know to be a safe number. It usually exceeds this claim in real usage. This is obviously not the watch for everyone. It's catered to professionals, or professional desk divers. Kidding aside, the one thing I've noticed is Seiko thickened the bezel insert, which makes the dial look smaller, which I personally like, similar to the SLA 021. The watch just looks chunkier overall. The back of the watch tells a different story. This reminds me of the old SBDB 011, which was also a 600-meter dive watch. They took a bit of the design language and tweaked it a little. The bracelet also uses the same glide extension for the clasp. We'll get to another bracelet story in a while here. The screw components on the back are there in order to hold the bezel to the case. Also, maybe to compensate for a well-fitting end link. It looks kind of weird with that black part at the end link, but it is probably there to secure the watch when going into deeper depths. This watch will retail at around $5,600. Yikes, that is a tough pill to swallow. Seiko didn't say anything about the weight, oddly enough, even though they advertise it as a titanium. Anyway, I think this watch looks great, and I'm not excited about this watch specifically, but for the future of Seiko. A new movement means a new line of watches we can either praise or express disappointment. They still push the 3 days text. I can live with it having Marinemaster and DX, but to brag about the 3 days text just cheapens the watch in my opinion, since I often see it on their SPB models. With regards to the SPB models, we will also be seeing two mid-tier dive watches, the SPB 509 GMT and the 62-mass SPB 511. Again, the trend is simple. If the Seiko dial has a pattern, it is probably a limited edition or special edition. These two are in fact limited to 6,000 pieces each, which is a lot, but still, it is kind of expected and predictable for Seiko to do this. Seiko also stated in their press website post that they are powered by the long-trusted Caliber 6R family. I'm pretty sure they don't read customer feedback. I believe the 6R15 was the best one so far. But to be fair, I've only owned up to the 6R35, so to anyone who has the 6R55, comment down below your experience. What else can I say? These are two watches that have a pattern in the dial and a less common color scheme compared to their rudimentary releases. Everything else from case back design to design language is the same to their respective counterparts, which are the SPB 453 and SPB 383 respectively. The biggest update here is the clasp. This is a weird time talking about a clasp update. The bracelet situation is really that outdated, I guess. This is Seiko's new updated clasp for this specific range of SPB. It has a 15mm adjustment range, which can be extended or shortened in 2.5mm increments by pressing the side buttons. A really interesting design change, one that is truly welcome to the SPB line, or to any Seiko line for that matter. I'm skeptical that they would be selling this as a separate thing. I guess we'll have to wait for more SPBs coming out this year and see if this clasp design will stick around. That's all for this video. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about this release. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Stay safe.